Hey everyone, welcome to the Deep Dive, where we like to dig in deep on stuff that you want to know more about.
Exactly.
We are coming at you from the Morse Global Finance Podcast team, and with me, as always, is Tiffany, our in-house expert.
Always happy to be here.
And today we are talking about precious metals. Someone
Ugh,
out there is thinking about maybe taking the plunge into investing in precious metals,
yeah,
and we are here to be their guide.
that's right. And there are a lot of choices out there. So we're going to focus on two of the biggest players, Rosland Capital and Lear Capital.
Yeah, and both of these companies, they look pretty good from the outside, at first glance.
Yeah,
But choosing the right one for you can be it can be tricky, right?
definitely.
So what kind of research have we dug up to help our listeners out there to make that choice?
Well, we've got their backgrounds, their services, we've even got some customer reviews and the all-important fees.
Perfect. So let's start off by getting to know these companies a little bit better. Who are the people behind them, and what are their stories?
Okay, so let's start with Rosland Capital. It was founded in 2008 by Marin Alexoff.
Okay.
And he already had a lot of experience in the precious metals world,
Hmm.
but he wanted to create a company that really focused on transparency and education for customers.
Okay. So kind of demystifying the precious metals thing
Exact.
and empowering people to make informed decisions.
Yeah, so they've definitely built a really strong reputation, especially internationally. They have offices in London, Paris, all over the place, and they've got a really good rating with the Better Business Bureau.
Excellent. So what about Lear Capital? How do they stack up against Rosland?
Lear Capital has been around even longer. It was founded in 1997 by Kevin Demerit.
Okay.
And they've definitely got a strong track record, too. They handled billions of dollars in transactions. But their BBB score is a little bit lower than Roslyn's, so that's something to keep in mind.
Interesting. Okay, so let's move on to what they actually offer. What kind of precious metals are we talking about here?
So Lear Capital, they focus on the classics, gold, silver, and platinum.
The staples.
Exactly. Things like American Eagles, Canadian Maple Leafs, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Rosalind offers those too, but they also have palladium, which is a metal that's getting increasingly popular, and they have a really impressive selection of collectible coins.
Oh, cool.
They've got Formula One coins, PGA Tour coins, even coins from the British Museum.
Wow. So if our listener's a collector, Rosalind might be the way to go.
Yeah, it seems like it. But let's not forget about the practical side of things too. Once you've bought these precious metals, you need somewhere safe to store them.
Yeah, you're not going to stick them under your mattress.
Hopefully not. Both companies use the Delaware Depository, which is known for its really tight security. But there is a bit of a difference in the storage options.
Okay.
Lear Capital offers both commingled storage, where your metals are stored with other clients' holdings, and private storage, where you've got your own separate space, and they have different pricing based on your choice.
Okay, so that gives the investor a bit more control over their storage and their costs.
Exactly. Now, when it comes to IRAs, that's where things start to get really interesting when you compare the two companies.
Okay, IRAs. Now, I think a lot of people throw that term around,
Yeah.
but I don't think everyone fully understands what it is.
Yeah.
Can you break it down for us and tell us how these companies handle it?
Sure, an IRA, an individual retirement account, is basically a way to save for retirement, and it comes with some pretty great tax advantages.
Okay.
Now, Lear Capital and Rosland Capital both offer IRA services, but they have different approaches.
Okay.
Lear Capital really seems to focus on making it super easy and affordable. They offer free setup, and they also have a price matching guarantee, so that's pretty appealing for people who are watching their budget.
Yeah. What about Rosalind? Do they make you, jump through hoops to get an IRA?
Not at all. It's just a bit more of a hands-on approach. They
Mm.
really emphasize working with clients directly to develop a personalized strategy. They want to
Mhm.
be your trusted advisor.
Okay. So it's a bit more like a white glove service. You're not just getting an IRA, you're getting a whole plan.
Exactly. It really comes down to what the investor's looking for.
That's a good question to ask yourself.
Yeah.
So we've talked about who they are, we've talked about their services, but now the big one, the one that everybody wants to know, fees.
Mm.
How much is all of this going to cost?
Let's get out our magnifying glasses and take a closer look at those fees.
All right.
So starting with Rosland Capital, they have a $50 initial setup fee, and you need at least $10,000 to get started.
Okay. Not too steep.
Not bad at all. And then there's a $100 annual maintenance fee. And when you buy metals, there's a $49 shipping fee.
Okay.
Oh, and one more thing. They have a $40 annual fee for paper statements.
Really? So if you want to save a few bucks, you better be comfortable doing everything online.
Exactly. Now, for Lear Capital, their initial setup fee is a little higher at $280.
Okay.
But that does include the first year of maintenance.
Oh,
Their minimum investment is also $10,000. And after that first year, their annual maintenance fee jumps up to $200.
okay.
Shipping's a little bit cheaper at $24. And they do offer some fee waivers for larger investments.
Oh, fee waivers.
Eh.
That sounds pretty good. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so for investments between $10,000 and $75,000, they'll waive certain fees.
Okay.
And for even larger investments, they offer up to 2 years of free storage.
Wow. So if you're thinking about putting in a significant chunk of change, Lear Capital might actually be more cost effective.
Yeah, could be in the long run.
So it really depends on your investment strategy, right?
Okay.
How much you're comfortable putting in.
Absolutely. Now, John, I think it's important to get a sense of the actual customer experience.
Yeah. Numbers are one thing, but what are people actually saying about these companies?
Okay, so Rosland Capital, they get pretty amazing reviews across the board. People really seem to love their customer service.
Oh, that's great.
Like one customer even talked about a representative named Micah Reed, who went above and beyond to make sure they understood everything and that the whole process was really smooth.
That's awesome. I love hearing stories like that. It sounds like Micah really embodies Rosland's commitment
Yeah,
to transparency and education.
definitely. But, even with all the positive feedback, there were a few negative reviews.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some people mentioned delays in coin delivery, and others said that communication could have been better.
Right. No company is perfect, right?
Exactly. Now, Lear Capital, their reviews are a little bit more mixed.
Okay.
Some people loved their fast service and the quality of the metals, but others were a bit put off by the fees.
Yeah.
One person even said that the 30% investment fee felt pretty steep compared to other options.
Yeah, 30%, that's a significant amount.
Yeah, it's definitely something to consider. So, weighing the pros and cons, I think it's time to put it all together.
Okay.
We've looked at their backgrounds, their services, those all-important fees, and we've heard from the customers.
So let's do a side-by-side comparison.
Exactly. Let's
Up
look at
to-
the advantages and disadvantages of each company.
Sounds good. So, starting with Rosland, what are their strongest points?
Well, selection is definitely a big one. They've got a huge variety of metals, including those unique collectible coins.
Yeah, and they have that low initial investment, so they're pretty accessible.
That's true. But on the downside, we did see those negative comments about communication and delays.
Right, and the lack of private storage could be a deal breaker for some people.
Absolutely. And their pricing, well, it could be a little bit more transparent.
Okay, so Rosland,
Hmm?
great for selection, customer service, and getting started, but maybe not the best if you want private storage or if you're really looking for super clear pricing.
Exactly. What about Lear Capital? What stands out to you?
Well, Lear Capital seems to be all about ease of use, free IRA setup, the price match guarantee. They really seem to want to make the whole process as painless as possible.
Yeah. And for those bigger investments, the fee waivers can really add up.
Yeah, and they have tons of educational resources, which is really great if you're new to precious metals and want to learn more before you dive in.
That's true. But their reviews were more mixed.
Right, and some folks were not happy about those fees.
And their selection, it's good, but it might not be quite as extensive as Rosland's, especially when it comes to the collectible coins.
So we've laid it all out. We've seen the good, the bad, and everything in between. But now the big question, which one is right for you, our listener?
It really depends on your priorities.
Exactly. What are your must-haves? What are you willing to compromise on?
Do you want the biggest selection possible, or is a smooth process with competitive pricing more important to you?
And what about your investment style? Do you want to be hands-on and do all the research yourself, or do you prefer to have someone, guiding you through the process?
These are the questions you need to ask yourself.
And remember, there's no right or wrong answer here. It's all about finding the company that really fits your individual needs and preferences.
And the good news is,
Yeah.
you've got all the information you need to make that decision.
I know we've thrown a lot at you today, but the goal isn't to make your head spin,
Yeah, it's to give you the knowledge.
It's to give you the tools to make that decision, confidently.
Exactly. We've gone through the background, the services, the fees, even what customers are saying about both Rosland Capital and Lear Capital.
Right.
So now you can take that and figure out what works best for you.
Exactly. It's all about, finding that precious metals partner that that really clicks with your investment goals and your preferences.
And as you're making that decision,
Yeah.
we want to leave you with one more thing to think about. It's not just about choosing a company.
All right.
It's about what kind of precious metals portfolio do you want to build for the long term.
Yeah. Are you looking for something that's a safe haven, to protect yourself against inflation?
Or are you thinking about growth and diversification?
Right.
Do you want to stick with the classic bullion, gold and silver?
Yeah.
Or are you interested in those collectible coins, with their history and their unique appeal?
That's a great question.
Yeah, it's not just about the company, it's about your strategy.
It's about, your risk tolerance, your financial goals, all of that.
Exactly. And knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
And you've got a lot of it now.
So you can navigate this world with confidence. John and Tiffany signing off.
Happy investing.